let's try that again. So, it's Wednesday today. I haven't done my bins. That's a good point. I will need to do those. I will definitely need to do those. But today's Wednesday. We are. I took a couple of days off. Once again, got the yawns already. I have been tired and struggling for lots of things. And sometimes just after work, I can't face doing what sometimes amounts to feeling like a couple of hours of extra work. It's not extra work because I do enjoy it. I say technically. I do technically enjoy it. I really do. But there are times I'm just really struggling to be in the mood. And it's not your fault. I need to explain that it's not your fault. It's definitely me. I'm just tired and not in the mood, and I want to snooze. And all of those kind of things. So I do apologise for not having streamed the last couple of nights. But what I did do some work. So, I mentioned once before that although I am making squares, I already know it's going to look a little bit rustic. That's a good word for it. Because it will look like squares sewn together, and that I want to really try to do an all-in-one piece kind of thing. Now, this has its own drawbacks, do not get me wrong. And joining them will not be an easy thing. However, I find myself in a position where, realistically, I feel that is the best option. I want to do, my brain is clamouring to do one that doesn't look a little bit pants, for want of a better word. And it's been annoying me all this time because it's been going, but it's going to look a bit crap when we're done. So can we do another one? And now I don't really want to do another one because, well, we've been doing this for a few months and we're not yet even halfway. And I was very aware when I started that, spending potentially 18 months, as I worked out it was likely to be, doing this would have its toll because, well, it's 18 months of the same triangle 72 times. And as a result, you're going to get a bit fed up with that triangle. You truly are. So we did a Vi version round about Christmas for a Bucks Point bookmark, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, the deal of the diversions is, of course, I do not have to do them all online. The main purpose of these videos, of course, is to document my journey in the actual curtain. That being said, never hurts to share other things that you do. So, some of the other things can be on and off stream. So, I designed a strip, because remember I wanted it to be wide enough and long enough that it kind of mattered. And it isn't as long as perhaps it should have been. But I am actually going to have to redesign it, by the way. So I designed a strip and I have started it. I did that over the last couple of days. So I've not exactly been slacking. I've just, been slacking. And in my mind, I wanted to do a very specific thing. Why? Because I could. Because it is the opportunity to do this very specific. Only I got it wrong, didn't I? I can't count. Moreover, despite printing it out, despite laminating it, and sitting there pricking all the little holes in it. It was when I was about halfway through pricking the little holes in it, bear in mind there were 1,913 little holes in it, I got it wrong. I worked out that it was wrong. Then I worked out that not only did I get it wrong in one sense, I got it wrong in another. So, let me demonstrate to you what I did wrong. Let me open my magic file do, and we can switch over. So, DSB, the strip, hopefully you can see it. It's hard for me to tell because the moment I wander off, yeah, that's alright. So, this be my strip. It's wrong. That's all you need to know more than anything else in this world. It's wrong. Okay? Now, it looks pretty. I mean, you know, the red line denotes that the pinholes on the outside are not arguably worked pinholes. You basically take the pair from the pin above, wrap it round there to make something to join to from the other side. Now, at the moment, well, as you can tell, they're both outies. Technically, one should be an innie. So, but this is the first strip. So the idea would be is then you don't include two on that pin. So you have one to go that way, and then you come around the outie with the other pair kind of thing going the other way. So you'd meet the outies as a pair. So it'd still come out, but instead of working out and just going around a pin, you loop through the existing loop. So it kind of works, right? What I did on my actual pricking is that, well, either these, that's a bit of a, yeah, don't be selecting stuff by mistake. These three, not that you can probably see my, so that's these three loops at the top were all one loop not far enough away, or all these ones were one loop further away. I have corrected it. This is the corrected format. Only there's still actually something wrong with it. What's wrong with it, Liz? Well, here's the deal. These spiders roll into each other, which was the look I wanted. What I failed to take into account, and let me do it with a big fat line, is that this pinhole here actually will work through to this pinhole. So if I do that, and then that, and then that to there, and that, it's not quite level, but there you go, to there. Right, there will be lines. They're not supposed to be lines. They're supposed to be continuous. It's supposed to, the wavy look that you see in those spiders is supposed to happen, but without the lines. So realistically, they all need to be closer. And so, kill those for the moment. Right, now, I happen to know these are on layer 2. So realistically, I locked it. Let's lock layer 3, because that's where the spots are. This, oh, I'm not on layer 3 now, there you go. Layer 2. Unlock. I need the selecty tool. Hang on, there you go. This, you're not going to let me select the whole thing, are you? There you go. This needs to go kind of there. Which means, I think, but I don't want them to be blocks of 4. So this, hang on, cancel that. This needs to get, they're not easy things to select, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed. This would then need to be not there. There. This. There. This. There. This. They're just so, they're not intuitive to hang on to. And you click on it and it selects it sometime. And I need it to be it's really hard sometimes to work if you got it in the right place or not. That there, that, possibly there, and that. Now I want you to move up, please. There. You are potentially then there, like that. Maybe. Yeah, something like that. Which doesn't look half as pretty, does it? But in the printed one, first of all, these the blocks of 4, you know, well, let's call it the 3x3 squares, are not very well done, and you see that still looks wrong. So I think you're supposed to be there like that, and you maybe like that, but you see that's not right either. Fuck knows. You see, there is a thing. 8 pins. It is kind of one of these. It is kind of one of those. But my point would be, instead of extending it to the middle to make the little crossy bit, and these bits here, they see that's kind of not, but it's similar to one of those. That's exactly the same shit, you blind woman. No, I want this one. It is that one. Right? So basically it's that one. But the bit in the middle, I want to do slightly differently. And I want to... And then... snap to get it off. Oh, don't be such a shit, computer. The computer is... we all know that I have problems with this program. So I want a raised ground there, like that. So I want to try and the middle to be a raised ground. So this is kind of more what I was thinking. And if I group those, group that, and then... see, it is roughly the same size. And this is kind of what I'm after. Now, that doesn't look like what I wanted it to look like. I wanted the kind of waviness that you get with this. Now, I have seen someone else, because I sent out a request on Facebook for people to post a thing, and she did post me a picture, and to be fair, it is similar, but it's not the same. Now we all know that sometimes And let me show you what the lady sent me. So, see if I can. This will explain what I was after. That's not. What's her wretched name? I literally was just looking at it, and already my brain's just farted. So, now, that's not the link she sent. What was the thing? It's in a pattern. Okay. Patterns. Where's her patterns? Patterns by shape. No. Patterns by subject. No. Oh, for goodness sake. Let's just type it in. So, this doesn't show it very well, bear this in mind, but as you can see right here at the very top of the page, see if I can scroll in on it, here we go. The way these spiders are working don't really show it, except for where there is, and of course you probably can't see on my mouse pointer, but you see where there is a little, no, actually it only shows it here, which I think is a mistake. Oh no, that one's the same. Let me screen grab it. And then put it in paint. Right. I know it's not the greatest picture of all time, but if you look on the left here, you will see that the bottom spider body, which if I mark the bottom spider body in red and I make it a big fat line, oh, give me a big fat line. So this spider body here goes up to this body and then back down to this body. And it makes like a wave shape. And that's kind of the shape I wanted to make. So I wanted it to wave down. Now, if you look at most of the other spiders on there, so every so often, it only happens in her picture twice. The first little spot on the bottom of her lace, there's a weedy above it. Second one there ain't. Third one there is. Fourth one there ain't. And if I look at here, the first one just looks like a spider and has kind of pointy bits. So I've got a feeling it's the bit where there is this double pointy bit, which is not what shows in the picture. But I think that's kind of what I'm after. That certainly was and I'd seen this thing where they wave down, and it actually made me think I could like spiders if they did that. But with the line in between them, of course, it's going to look just like a load of individual spiders, which isn't what I wanted. But of course, like this, it looks like you would see it. But of course, that doesn't draw in all the lines. And it was only afterwards, when I was poking holes in it, that I realised that this bit wasn't going to work. So, if I hide this, hang on, go back to lace 8. So, if I hide layer 2, because, well, that we don't need for the moment, and we'll pick 4 for a minute. The problem is, I kind of want this, but different, right? Because I want the middle to be, well, different. I want it to be a normalish spider I want it to be normal. So I want, what I really want, and let me draw it with a spider, hang on. Is it 3-pin spider? No, it's 4-pin spider, isn't it? So if I take my spider picture, I want this effect. Like this. This is what I kind of imagined. Now, I know they're not lining up because I've got snap on. But kind of, this is the effect that I wanted. In fact, let me just grab that. Actually, let's snap them, because then it will look posher. And we'll go, and you have to do it again, because although it shows you the icon, it's not actually doing it. So if no, I didn't want to place it there. Ah, for goodness sake. If you undo, of course, it eats your thing. So I want to put that there, and then that there, that there, that there, that there, that there, that there, and that there. So let me quickly screen grab this a sec. Like that. And quickly go to the magic delights of hang on. So yes, I have been. So in essence, I'm already frustrated with my strip. I managed to get half the bobbins on, nowhere near the first element, and have realised that it is not what I wanted. So frustration abound. And I would show you it, but all there really is a small area of ground stitch, which I'm going to be undoing. So there. I'm going to have to print out, just work out how to make the thing that I want, design it, and all the rest of it. And I could have sworn I'd seen some stuff like it. Yeah, it's more like this. Compound square spider. Now make that big enough that I can actually see some detail, because I'm not close to my computer anymore. Yeah, not quite like that though. But it might work. Maybe if I add another leg. So if I make a 5-pin spider like this, and the problem is knowing what and trying to imagine if they line up or not. So that's that one that goes there, and then that looks like it should be there, so it needs to go. The thing is to be sure that you've gone in enough, you see. Because they're not designed to go together, right? Not like this. They're designed to be, you know, say for example, like this. But of course that still has the line between it. I want it more like this. So that's fine. So now this needs to go, so bottom of that needs to go to the top of that. Like that. And then no, that's not right. Fuck's sake. See, this is what's so hard, is trying. It sounds really stupid, but because they don't line up, it's really hard to be sure. So I want that there. But you see, that doesn't look right at all. That can't be right. Which means that second one can't be right. But see, this is definitely the effect that I wanted. I can't remember how many legs that it had. But if I move it in one, this is something I think you've just got to try on the pillow and then go away and do. And the problem is undoing it is not entirely practical. So that would then be there. This would then be here. That would then be here. See, while this looks horrendous like this and nothing like what I think it will actually look like on the pillow, because what will happen is those curved lines on one side become straight lines to the other and give the wavy effect, whereas so it will actually look. Well, and this is the problem. I'm really struggling with this because, you know, this is how I want it to look when it's done. And like that looks exactly like my brain's going, yeah, that's exactly what I want it to look like. But it's forgetting the line that will run all the way down the outside. So again, cancel that. There will be a line that will run from here to here. I've got to always remember to cancel them. And then a line from here to here. And a line from here to here. And a line from here to here. Which, of course, then, if you look at them like this, detracts from the waviness that I am hoping for. But, because it just would. It would then look like a bunch of spiders in boxes. It takes away from the waviness. So I think I'm going to have to try some, because, you know, at the end of it, if I show you this, I must admit, I thought you were looking at this. Are you looking at this? Yes, you are looking at this. That's right. I can't. I've seen it. I've seen it on a piece of lace, and could I find it? Could I heck? Right. But you can. I swear, you can line them up So you don't have the lines in between, because there's no room for the line in between. And as a result, you end up with this kind of waviness down the side, which I thought, and I remember commenting on it. So it was on a Facebook post. I remember seeing it and going, and I almost remember the exact words I wrote were, I could almost like spiders like this, right? Because I don't like spiders. But could I find it? And like all of these things, the moment you come to search for it, it's like there is no knowledge of there's no knowledge of the wording. And of course, you can search for who did the post, but not I replied to it, which of course doesn't help. And I've looked pretty much through all the sodding pictures, and I've searched the word spider, and I know because I know it's got spiders in it, because, well, that's how the waviness happened. But I remember it being a kind of an arty kind of thing, and I'm sure it was round about Christmas. But like all of these things, I can't find it now. It's the same when I mean, there's a short meme video thing doing the rounds of when you search for that mail you saw 2 minutes ago, and it says no such thing found. That's the kind of problem I'm having. Is I know I saw it, I know where I saw it, but can I find the one that I want? And the answer to that seems to be no. And yet I know which group it was in. I remember it clearly. The waves were a dark blue. And I remember commenting on it. But can I find it? Can I ask? And as I say, you can't seem to find I think it was a bookmark. Let's see if because of course, what if she never mentioned you know, it's just one of those frustrating portions of, you know, you've seen it, and I've searched on the internet, and I'm normally pretty good at internet searches, but of course Facebook groups don't tend to turn out in internet searches for obvious reason. But the worst thing is I remember it so clearly. And I know I didn't dream it. It did not come to me in a dream. It was not my imagination. I saw this. And annoyingly with... Now, it could be that it was more than one spider wide, so that it was like 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Maybe. And maybe that's a thing. But it's so frustrating to know that you've seen something and that you commented on it, because it actually was the only time I've seen spiders and liked them. quickly looking through. Thing is, I can scroll through quite fast because I know that the moment I the moment I see anything remotely like what I'm looking for, it will stand out. Because, well, it's exactly what I'm looking for, you know? But you can't kind of search pictures. You can only... I mean, I can filter by things. So I can say posts I've seen, but what if it decided I hadn't seen it, even though I wrote on it? Most recent... Oh, I've got a spam bot, hang on. Doom scrolling with glasses on and we get a spam bot. So, let's deal with the spam bot. Hello, spam bot. I swear the spam bots come here to die. Because usually within a couple of minutes they're gone. So I can filter by posts I've seen, or the ones that it thinks I've seen, by most recent, depending on what it decides is recent, posted by anyone. Of course, if I knew you'd posted it, that would be easy. But what you can't search for is pictures that I saw that I replied to, which is kind of what I want. Now, you'd like to hope that that is posts that I've seen. But you can't even do posts that, with pictures. It's just... Oh, for goodness sake. Stop trying to be helpful, phone. I don't need you to correct my typing. Because I remember it being a kind of an arty photo in that it was at an angle with like, and not just here's a chunk of lace photo. It was, here's my, it wasn't a here's my latest effort. It was a look, buy me kind of thing. So it was very distinctive. Now, I did think of one way to minimalise the squares, which would be to use a different colour so that it fades a bit more into the background. But that's not what I was after. That's not what I wanted. And of course, me doom scrolling must be the most fascinating thing for you lot. Well, I'm not doom scrolling. Well, I am doom scrolling because I feel my impending doom not being able to find these bloody spiders. And of course, it keeps getting to the end of results, and I'm sorry, there's way more posts in that group than that. So, anyway, let's not. I'm just so frustrated because it is the knowing that you've seen it, knowing that you've had it in your hands almost, and didn't keep it, you know? That somehow you didn't save the picture, or... She says, quickly actually checking her phone in case she did. Hang on. Let's scrolly back. Because I do take random pictures of things. That's right, there's a picture of one of the kind of like 80,000 bajillion bobbins that gives me anxiety that I kept to remind me what other people have done. No, that's pre-curtained. That's before I started doing lace. No, there are just so many bobbins dangling off this thing. I mean, it is, you know, it is basically a neck curtain shawl thing. And, you know, it's really, really big. But, and so it's got 1,000 bajillion bobbins on it. I'm just so frustrating that I can't find it when I want it, you know? So I would have to try it, and, well, I've got to undo what I've done. I can't really easily show you what I've done, actually, but there we go, let's try. So, if I put this on here, you can just about make out that I've done a small corner, and I've already realised that it's wrong. So, that's kind of where I got to with that. But I spent hours fucking poking holes in the piece of paper, and I'm annoyed with myself because not only is the one on there wrong in terms of the squares are not evenly spaced, and so it would look really awful, but I decided to go with it anyway because my tolerances of having poked all the holes in it and all the rest of it were low. I've then been having problems because the thread that I used, I thought was a cheap polyester thing that I bought. Turns out it's silk, so it's really slippery. It feels nice though. And well, yeah, and basically a lot of yeah. Basically. And I was kind of avoiding doing this, to be honest. For the joy is not beholding me at the moment. I don't hate it. I just don't look at it and go, yay! I look at it and go, it's a bit like, you know, doing housework. It's it should be done. I should be doing this. And I think it's because I know I should be doing it that it kind of haunts me slightly. So I need to rework my thing, because I had planned that come the end of said triangle stroke square, because obviously we are very imminently close to the end of this square, that I would do some strip just to do a bit of difference, right? But there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, let's do some lace. It's been nearly an hour that we have talked of my impending disaster, and let's actually make something new. So yes, like everything, more disappointment, more screw-ups. And it's just, but as I say, I think my biggest problem is that I know I've seen it. And knowing that I've seen it, knowing that it's possible, knowing that, just makes it slightly more annoying. And also knowing that until you try it, the picture that may be on my little chart may not be as accurate as perhaps it could be. She says, having had an idea. I assume the weather's changing. I have a couple of really sore joints. Moreover, my dog has a limp. Now, little Flapper, she had a bit of a limp for about a minute at the weekend. And I assumed she had, trodden in some poo or something, and she was walking around kind of holding her paw up going, ich, manny. And so I assumed that she'd trodden in something and she was just being dramatic. Because it literally was no worse than, ich, mummy, ich. And then, a minute later, she completely forgot about it and was walking around. We went out and we played ball briefly in the garden. Now, when I say ball, she is not racing with her brother because her brother does not understand playing ball. So all she does is she chases after the ball on the grass and then she, brings it back and I chuck it again. So it's not exactly an intense game. I mean, she does actually, run after it and stuff. But it's, it's not like, I've got a ball thrower and she's running, 200 metres at a time and over hill and down dale. She's running across a flat bit of grass. Anyway, she was doing that and then suddenly she started limping. And again, I assume she'd probably trodden on something. Because, it is grass. But she's been limping all afternoon. Now, not consistently. So occasionally it's just a little bit of a laboured walk. Other times it's full on, my foot's gonna, my foot's hanging off by a thread, kind of, I daren't put it on the ground. But at the same time, her shoulder, elbow, wrist, foot, claws, dew claws, nothing seems to actually hurt. So you can give it a bit of a wiggle, move it around, poke, grab, pull, squish. I mean, not ridiculously hard, but, because if you do it gently to start with, but you build up to it. And she's got full range of motion. You can poke it, prod it, pull it, wiggle it. Nothing of it. See, it's not like she kind of reacted to any of it and kind of was a bit, oh no, I don't really want you to move it like that. Nothing. Not a thing. Not a single blessed thing. But that must have been nearly 6 hours ago that she did it, and she's still doing the drama queen. So either we are being a drama queen, because any dog owner will confirm that if the dog, marginally has the tiniest of nothing, it can do Oscar-winning performances. It can also, of course, mask the fact that it's about to die of something. Hello, Fiona, looking at you for that one. And pretend that there is nothing wrong with it. So it's really hard to judge when a dog is not good. Because it does not like to show weakness. But when it wants to show weakness, oh, can it ham it up, right? So, when you do see weakness, is it real? Who knows? She's been a bit grumblier later this evening. She's asleep right now on the couch next to me. So not necessarily, drastic, because if she was in pain, maybe she wouldn't. But she's asleep, so, I'm not going to wake her up just to find out. But maybe she is not doing well. So there is a chance that I will be phoning the vet tomorrow and asking them for one of their extortionately priced appointments to be given a drop of liquid feel better for the dog. Which she possibly does or does not need, because she could just be being a drama queen. But I will need to go to find out that she's being a drama queen and spend a small fortune to be told she's got a bruise or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And so there is just this little bit of me that kind of, it's not that I hate my dogs or I begrudge them the money, because, if they are truly ill, I would spend a fortune. But if there's nothing freaking wrong with her, I don't want to be spending £300-400 just to be told, she banged her paw and that she's feeling a little put out or something, right? My toenails not painted the right pink, whatever the drama is currently over. Now, she is a bit of a bully to her brother, and her brother will occasionally fight back. And part of the reason I called a halt was before she started limping, actually. The first thing I spotted was on the corner of the outside of her paw, kind of here, was like she'd cut herself. You know how, like, if you picked a spot or something and made it bleed, and you wipe your hand on it and you get that kind of red smear that you on your hand, and you're kind of looking going, well, where the hell's that come from? And the answer is because you picked a spot or whatever it was you did. Or the scab or whatever it was, right? And that's exactly what she had on her fur, was this, like, blood smear. So I called a halt because I wanted to find where the blood was from. And I searched high and low on the dog. There was no sign of blood, right? Except for this smear on her paw, which implies, actually, it came from her brother. Couldn't find anything on him, but he's a bit harder because he's black. So I called halt then, because obviously, even though he was not joining in the ball game and not, getting into any trouble, if there was blood about, maybe now's not the time. So we really didn't play much ball. I must have thrown it like 6 times or something stupid. It really wasn't a lot. But she then started limping on the foot that had the blood. Now, is it because I looked at the blood-covered paw and she's gone, oh, where is me? I had blood. Yeah, it wasn't yours, darling. But is it because she's hamming it up? There is a big part of me that says that she is. But at the same time, 6 hours of hamming it up is quite a long time. So, I really don't know. I mean, I don't like to think of them in pain because, well, I'm their owner. I want the best for them. But at the same time, there is having the best for them, and then, we do not need foie gras for breakfast, So I don't know. But if tomorrow there may be a stream later or earlier. Well, it won't be earlier because I'll be at work. But depending on if I need to go to the vet and what time of an appointment I can get with the vet, because, well, like all good people, they're only really open during office hours. And Rory, if you snore any louder, there are going to be complaints from the neighbours. But it will mean that I have to go whenever suits them, not whenever suits me, that's for sure. Because last time I phoned them about something and they were like, I was like, can I have a Saturday appointment because it's much easier to take both dogs together. And they were like, oh no, those are reserved. What for? For people who can't come during the week. Yeah, I can't come during the week because I need my partner. I need my partner to come so we can handle 2 dogs effectively in a bad situation. Oh, well, I'm really not that sure. It's not up to you, love. I pay you money. Can you just book me an appointment? And they almost refused. They almost refused to give me a Saturday appointment so that 2 dogs could come in and get their yearly stab. Because, but Saturdays are for people who can't make it during the week. What makes you think I can make it during the week, usually? You know, I have a job too, you know. Because the problem is their appointments realistically are 8:30 in the morning till 5:30. Well, depending on where you work, by the time you've got back, you can't, and you've got home to the dog, by the time you get to the vet, it's going to be outside those hours. So beforehand, you can't go to the vets for 8:30 and know full well they won't really see you till 9 because you need to start, you know, even working from home, you still have to work on, start on time. So you can't just go, oh, well, never mind, And then should you need someone to come with you, well, if they finish at 5, they won't necessarily get to your house till 5:30. Well, then 1, 2, 3, 4, I thought so. Well, if they get to me for, say, just about 5:30, well, it's already stopped. It's already too late. They've closed for the night. So, I'm sorry, it means I can't necessarily come during the week. Thank you very much. Like half the population who pay for their dogs. That's how I make my money. I work for a living, as do my friends, you know. But it is always the same. Doctors, dentists, the whole shebang. They earn quite a lot of money. Our particular vets do not do out of hours before you go, oh, but they have to do all those extra hours. No, our vets don't. They farm it off to a different vet who does that. A different vet covers the out of hours. So it's not even my lot who do the out of hours. So let's not be pretending that, oh, well, they do long hours. No, they don't. They do 8:30 till 5:30. I'm not saying their job's easy. I'm not going to pretend their job's an easy job. I would struggle to do it. But at the same time, much like dentists and doctors, oh yes, or all of the other, or pharmacies. The pharmacies around here are quite amusing, actually. Where I have my doctors, in the same building, there is a pharmacy. Which is really convenient, because obviously, should you go to the dog and they go, here, take this shit for your ailment, you'll need it. And you go, okay. So you go across to the pharmacy to get whatever it was doc has said will fix you. Well, the doc opens, depending on the day of the week, about 8 o'clock. The pharmacy opens at 9:15. So you can be out there hanging around for like 20, 30 minutes waiting for the pharmacy to open. You can then have them, it's fine, until around about 11:30. Because at 11:30, they shut down for lunch and don't open again till 2. And then they close at like 4:30. I have a job, and the only time, and you shut during my entire lunch break. You shut, you shut before I get shut. Don't open until long after I'm at work, and you shut long before people leave. I mean, dude, do you mind? It's the same with parcel companies here in the UK. Nearly all of the parcel companies, we only deliver Monday to Friday between 9 and 5. Yeah. How do you think I paid for the contents of the parcel? It didn't magically, I didn't win it. I worked hard for my goods, thank you. Do you mind passing them on? No, we can't leave them with the neighbour, madam. We have to hand and get a signature. Well, then you'll have to come when I'm here, and I'm not taking a day off just to receive your shitty parcel. Even though I want it. 'Tis the advantage of working from home, I will admit. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get one of those back, which feels slightly wrong. Not gonna lie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I've got a sore bit in my hand, kind of here. Don't know what I've done to that. I'm going to need my pokety stick. Not that pokety stick, the other pokety stick. I'm going to need to pick up these before disaster befalls them. In fact, it already technically has. Because where are the other two? Don't need that. And I'll need a pair of scissors. Not immediately, admittedly, but I will need them. Hang on a sec. Need a bit of a structural readjustment here. Clothing. Right. So, I don't need you immediately, so I will put you in a stick. Oh, don't fall off the table! Everything that's round loves to roll. Just stop it. Liz has not got patience. Not today. So yes, I am loggerheads. You're off flying thing. Because I don't know how to do my strip. I know what I want it to look like. And I really thought that I had it. And then, of course, I realised that there'd be the line in the middle, and that wasn't it. So. Got to undo all that I have done. And if nothing else, print out a strip that doesn't suck. But before I do that, I need to experiment to see how to make the spiders that look the way I want them to. Which is really awkward because you need quite a bit of bobbins to make that work. Itchy, 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 itchy. So I'm just trying to have a scritch. That's right, I was just deciding whether I want to tie these off now or get to the end of here and do it. I need to have a good scratch. Hang on. Scratchy scratch. Oh, got the itches. Right. So, keep something like that. Right, I need 5 more pins, for which there are pins hidden down there. So that's okay, we can steal some of those. Still use. Right, you need to go back in your stick because we need to keep you for a minute. Right. Now we get to the accursed portion where I possibly need you as well. And one of those to take off my glasses. For we need to stare insanely at the pins of happiness. Ow! Oh, there's a pin sticking out. Shocker! There's a pin! I wonder where I got that from. Right. Now, last time we added some pins for stability, and this was not necessarily a bad call. So I'm going to transfer some of these pins over. We will note for next time that we will leave more pins in at the beginning Because after all, it's not like there isn't going to be a next time. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Now, you. No, not you. Other you. You. Put you over here. So we take you out, and we want you two. We give an extra cross. And we make you long. And we make you long. Chop. We put the bobbins over there. Take the pin out. And then we wind because we realise we probably should push the rest of the pins down. Now we can't get you. Take some pins out. You two down. I'm going to pull you out again in a minute, but let's push you down further, right, so that I can get you through this hole and get you out the other side like this. What the fuck is going on? It's gone wonky and something hideous is happening. Something hideous is happening here. In that it has gone through. This is your friend. What was going on there? See? You can go down. wound up. Let me try. Can't put that on the end of it. So used to putting things on the end of things. See, this should be the ideal answer. The crochet hook should be perfect, but getting said thread on hook and not other threads is not an easy skill when you've got other threads that want to play. See, this should be the easy answer. It should be a case of go through here and grab, but you can't really manipulate the thread you want, and even when you've got it roughly where you want, you actually haven't. So if I move this over here, so that it is. The problem is the hook itself, being infinitely tiny, kind of almost doesn't grab it, and so grabbing it becomes really hard, like that. Now, where did the other end go? Let's put the pin back. You outside, so we don't overly feel the tension. Tie the nuts. Nuts. This is the other problem. This crochet hook is made out of like a wafer thin shit, and as a result of being made of wafer thin shit, it bends like nothing else, and that doesn't help either in the whole shenanigans of the game. So while in a way the crochet hook is easier because, well, you hook over the thing you want and bring it back, it's kind of not, because the end of this, being so ultrally fine, bends as you're trying to do it. Now, if it bent in the right way, maybe this would be a bonus, but of course it never does. It bends in all the wrong ways and the wrong points, and so it's not entirely easy to work with. Back. Pin. It's been asked a couple of times, and now's a good time to remind everybody. If I was to be doing this as I made lace, now I know I'm making lace, shut up a minute. If this was to be on like a part where I needed to, so for example I was making a zigzag, the principle of how you join does not change. So for example, if I don't cut it, it'll be a bit more obvious. What you can do, she's pushing down pins in the way, so you would get to the point where you need to join part A to part B. You temporarily remove said pin. You fish out through the intent. Now obviously if I was working along, there wouldn't be lace, the others, there'd not be lace going down or whatever, because this would be a side. But so you pull a loop through, and what you would do to continue is to put this one through there, and then it's like it's gone round the pin. Now obviously in my case I'm gonna chop the thread, but if I pass the other bobbin through, this would then pull snap over this thread, so it will join the two together, and you can continue working as if it comes from where this is. So it's exactly the same. Joining and sewing the ends like this are exactly the same method. It's just that in this one you tie it in a knot and chop them off. In the other you would continue on making lace, having joined the two together. So it's so as you know, I often have a particular streamer in my ear as I'm working, and he's off on a bit of a rant today, because, well, anyone who's a pet owner knows that your pet occasionally does stuff that annoys the shit out of you. I mean, hello, I've ranted about my dogs a few times, but I'm struggling with him on this occasion to be on his side. So he has a cat, and the cat was hungry. The cat did not get the food that it wanted. So apparently, it got food, but not the food that it wanted. So apparently the cat basically got up, walked over to his backpack, and peed on it. Now, I've had a dog do something very similar, being a bit vindictive, and you've kind of gone, I didn't think animals were like that. I thought animals were a bit more, you know, upfront and honest with that. But okay, so you peed on it. He's basically ranting away about how if he washed the backpack would still be covered in pee, and that he can't do that. Pretty sure, A, there are lots of enzymes that eat pee, so as pet owners, normally we're aware of this because, well, at some point your animal will inevitably have peed at some point. Secondly, it's a backpack. Just wash it. I really don't think it would smell of pee. And he's like, oh, I can't get stuck on a plane with it smelling of cat piss. And it's like, no. But it wouldn't smell of cat piss because you would have washed it. The definition of washing of it removes the... I mean, there is still a small remote chance that there would be a faintest notion of pee, but it is, you know, a lot of normal people can't be shelling out for a whole new thing just because your cat peed on it, you know? It's a little bit kind of, he's definitely not having a good day. For now, he's just tried to redeem an in-game code and actually redeemed it against the PlayStation rather than the PC on which he plays, and they're not transferable. And there is a little bit of you kind of going, yeah, whatever. Another streamer I watched got his viewers to do a hype train, and I have to say I did not partake, but he made in one day, in less than an hour, $72,000. I'd make that a year. Let alone at streaming. And it was kind of like, oh yeah, no, I made, the hype train raised this much. Okay, show off. Not all of us have those privileges. That's never going to be words said by a crafting streamer on Twitch, that's for sure. I mean, even the really popular ones don't make that kind of money. particularly hard to do knots and things with threads that are wiggly. I'm having a bad hair day. Now, it's not a bad hair day as in, I've got a random sticky out bit that makes me look like I've got, like the ruffle thing on the top of a chicken or anything like that. It's just not, it's all falling out my ponytail stroke plait thing and generally being really friggin' annoying. And getting in my face. Which, of course, is the main reason I tied it back, is because to stop it being in my face. So, being somewhat unsuccessfully restrained. That's a bunch more bobbins, about 10, well, 10 pairs that we have. I desperately need my pliers. Where are my pliers? Don't know. These will have to do. That's right, I need to push a bit of my glasses back together. That's a bit better. These glasses are going to break one day. Basically the hinge of the arm keeps spreading and I keep pushing it back together, and as we all know, any metal that constantly gets bent tends to break. So they'll break at some point and I will have to go and get a new pair of glasses. Until then, right. Right. There we go. They're all sewed down, so that's a good thing. Means we've now lost 3 lots of we've lost 15 bobbins off the board, so space is being made. But it is also 9 o'clock. I am feeling done a little, I feel. But if we have a quick peep under our cloth here, like this, it's looking all right. I mean, obviously I've got a big pile of tails to sort out, but we need to do the tails at some point. But until then, so how the hell are you doing, Doug? Right. So I think that that's going to be it for today. I have not arguably achieved the most amount of effort today, but we have tied off some bobbins. We have I'm also slightly conscious that if I do too much today, so let's say I brave it out till 11 o'clock and we do say, I know this bit and this square, well, then that's not going to leave a lot for Friday, and I don't really want to be starting something new on a Friday, and I need time to do my strip. I also need to do my bins, so I've got to do that yet. So I do feel that now is the time for running away. So let's take a picture. Need to clean my camera. It's the only problem with having your camera on the back of your phone. It's often where you pick it up with your big fat finger. There we go, that's a bit better. Anyway, it is time, sadly, to bid farewell. I apologise if this was not the most exciting of streams of the week. I realise that, especially having not streamed the last couple of days, this is possibly one of the dullest streams you've watched in a while. For this, I am sorry. But we will be back tomorrow to do more lacy things. Hopefully I will get a chance tomorrow to print out a new version of my strip so that I can do some strip. Basically, sigh. It is what it is, my dear friends. So I hope to see you tomorrow, if not Friday, if not the late stream on Saturday. Take care of yourselves and enjoy your fun. Bye bye.